And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm watching K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So every week before the regular season, we make our confidence picks. We pick winners. We assign a confidence rating to all of the games on the schedule. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different for the playoffs. We're just going to preview the game and pick winners. But before we get into that, we're going to recap the regular season very quickly for the confidence picks. In Week 18, tough week to pick, probably the toughest week of all. We had a record of 11 wins and 5 losses, totaled 100 points, and rose 2.4 percentage points from the last week. And so for the season, we finished with 180 wins, 91 losses, 1,638 points. That's the most we've had since we started doing this. And the percentage rating was 92.9, which is the lowest that we've had. So it is kind of weird how that worked out. My picks were the best they'd ever been, but other people seem to do really, really well also because my percentage was a little bit lower. Okay, so that's how the regular season turned out. Let's go straight to the wild card picks. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of quick numbers that I find pretty interesting. You got 5 teams in the playoffs that have never won the Super Bowl and 2 teams that have never even been to a Super Bowl, those being Detroit and Houston. And since the start of 2021, during Wild Card Weekend, road teams have gone just 4-14. And by the way, 2 of those 4 victories came against Dallas, who are not here to mess things up. And since the NFL expanded the playoff field back in 2020, the number 7 seed has won only 1 of 8 games. And the 7 losses have come by an average of over 12 points. Translation, if you're a Packers fan or a Broncos fan, it is not a good omen for you. So will I pick one of them? Let's get right into it. First game, the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, California at the Houston Texans. You know, this is the warm-up game. Doesn't this feel like the game every year that feels somewhere between a regular season game and the actual start of the playoffs? You know, this is like the interlude before the show begins, you know, the breadbasket before the food comes out. And so often it feels like Houston is the one hosting the game. And if you're wondering how often, I'll tell you. Houston has played 8 wild card games going back to the 2011 season. And all 8 of them, they all started Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time, 3:30 Houston time. This is the Houston time slot. It is that simple. Now, the thing with the Texans, they have beaten only one playoff team all season. And their offense, which a lot of people thought would take a step up this year with the addition of Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, they cracked 30 points just twice all year, and the last time they did that was Week 11 against Dallas, and they needed a defensive touchdown to crack that 30 burger. In addition to no Stephon Diggs, who's out for the year with a knee injury, there's no Tank Dell. When Dell is not on the field, Houston loses a lot of big playability. The ability to take big shots down the field goes down significantly. Now, as far as the Chargers go, I'm not loving their offensive line right now. Slater and Alt are both 3rd at their respective positions, left tackle and right tackle, and pressures allowed. Now they're trying to stop Hunter and Anderson, a very capable 1-2 pass rush combo for Houston. And the Chargers, I know they haven't beaten Murderers Row over this year, but they have scored 108 points over the last 3 weeks. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be the key to this game. I think he will be able to run the ball very effectively. I think the Chargers win their first playoff game in 6 years. You know, with Coach Harbaugh, you got that ground and pound mentality, and it does tend to do very well in playoff games. So give me the Chargers. I'm picking a road team to start. Game number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, this game has to be on Amazon Prime, so I guess I'm going out to watch it. Steelers are a 9.5-point underdog. It seems very steep. I know they've lost 4 straight games. Now, Lamar Jackson looks like he is well on his way to winning another MVP award, but he is still only 2-4 in his playoff career. And in those games, Baltimore has averaged 16 points compared to 29 during the regular season games that Lamar has played. So that is a huge difference. And let's be honest, most of the time when Pittsburgh and Baltimore square off, the game comes down to field goals. So it is very important that Baltimore put the ball in the end zone when they have a chance, because there is an automatic kicker in this game, and his name isn't Justin Tucker, it's Chris Boswell, and he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I just can't trust Russell Wilson against a Baltimore defense that is improving by the week. Plus, that Baltimore offense has scored 30 points or more for 4 straight weeks. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to give them the win just because Pittsburgh appears to be struggling so much. On to the Sunday games, the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. I got to give credit to Denver. Before the season, I thought they would be a bottom 5 team in the NFL, but it shows you what good coaching can do, even if you don't have the most talent on your roster. That said, Broncos ain't handling Buffalo at Orchard Park. First of all, Buffalo didn't lose a home game all year. And to Bo Nix, here's a sobering stat. Over the last 10 years, rookie quarterbacks have gone 3-8 in the playoffs, and 2 of those wins came from Brock Purdy, who had an absolutely stacked offense as the Niners hit the NFC title game in 2022. The Broncos don't have anywhere near that caliber of offense. I think Nix is going to have to throw the ball downfield and complete passes for Denver to win because I expect Buffalo's defense to play up, to play tight, and to try to take the short passes away. And the Denver defense, it's going to be very interesting. You know, they have been very good this year. Now they got to go against Josh Allen, who will probably be first or second in the MVP voting. Think about it. The Denver defense had 63 sacks this year, the most in the NFL. But now they go against Buffalo, who allowed only 14. And a lot of that has to do with Josh Allen's escapability. And the reason why Denver tends to get a lot of pressure is they blitz so often. They're in the top 4 in blitzing this year, but against the blitz, Josh Allen has a passer rating of 123.2 plus 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. Maybe Denver can contain him for a little while, but for a whole game, I don't see it. Give me Buffalo. And then we go to the Sunday Fox game. It is the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's take a look at this Green Bay offense. Christian Watson is out for the year, unfortunately. That hurts Green Bay's ability to go downfield. It's kind of like Tank Dell going down for Houston. And now Jordan Love, he has a banged-up right hand. Apparently, he didn't have feeling in his hand during that final game against the Bears. Now, he hasn't thrown an interception since Thanksgiving, but the Eagles' defense was excellent pretty much the entire year. They gave up 300 total yards or more just 3 times after their Week 5 bye. And there is no pass D that allows fewer yards per game than Philadelphia does during the regular season. The X factor, though, is that the Eagles' quarterback, Jalen Hurts, has been in concussion protocol, and he's missed the last couple of weeks. Now, he has been cleared as of Friday. If it was a regular season game, would he be cleared? Well, we won't know, but we know Jalen Hurts will start this game. But he's going against a Green Bay defense that is 6th in both yards allowed per game and points allowed per game. I don't feel great about that. So to me, this game is going to come down to which defense stops the run better. The Eagles have the NFL's leading rusher in Saquon Barkley, while the Packers have Josh Jacobs, who ranks 6th in the league in ground attack. Both of these teams feature top 10 run defenses. I'm going with Philly just because they're the hotter team. They're the more balanced team. And the other thing, Green Bay, we don't know if they can beat the best teams. Throw out Week 18, that irrelevant game against the Bears. Outside of that, the Packers lost 5 games all year to 3 different teams. They lost to the Lions twice, the Vikings twice, and to these very same Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil opening week. So I'm taking Philadelphia. Game 5, the Washington Commandskins at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This could be a sneaky, fun, exciting game. You never know what you're really going to get with Tampa. They've beaten Detroit. They've beaten Philadelphia. But at the same time, they lost to Dallas. They nearly lost last week to the Saints when they had a division title on the line. But Baker Mayfield is a touchdown machine. He's averaging close to 300 yards per game, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in his last 5 games. And that Tampa Bay run game is pretty stout with White and Irving. As for Washington, they're allowing 138 yards per game on the ground, okay? And they have given up 330 total yards or more in each of their last 3 games. I just don't see the Washington defense holding up. I know Jane Daniels is exciting. He's going to be a very good player for a long time in this league as long as he stays healthy. But I think too many people are not looking at the Washington defense in this game. So give me Tampa Bay at home. And then finally, Monday Night Football. I would say this is the toughest game to pick. The Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, this game will be in Glendale, Arizona due to the tragic wildfires that broke out. from a football perspective, you wonder, does that affect things? You can't really be sure how. You can be sure Minnesota is not going to make too big of a deal out of it because they're still traveling. But does this mess with the Rams? Will Sean McVay be able to keep his players focused, to keep them in their normal routine, to keep that mindset going? Okay, I'm glad this game is being played on Monday, so both teams have that little bit of extra time. Minnesota, because they played last Sunday night, and the Rams due to these, unforeseen circumstances. But the Rams also did rest a lot of players against Seattle. I wonder if there's a little rust there too. It's hard to say. I think the big thing here, and I think most people would agree, what does Sam Darnold do in this game? I think a lot of people are going to assume he's going to play poorly in this game just because he did in Detroit. I don't think he's going to struggle in this game because he played badly last week. I think he's going to struggle because the Rams have a very young, hungry defensive line that creates a lot of pressure. Verse, Turner, Fisk, these guys cause havoc. They have about 25, 26 sacks between them this year. On the other side, Matthew Stafford, he had one of his best games of the year against Minnesota, completed 75% of his passes, threw 4 touchdowns when the Rams beat the Vikings this past October. And Minnesota, they've given up the 5th most passing yards in the league. I think the Rams have been kind of overlooked all season. I think the Vikings season comes to an end this coming Monday night in Arizona. All right, those are my picks for Wild Card Weekend. If you've got some picks, put them right down there in the comments, right down there. Reminder, we are less than 10 subscribers away from 1,000. Please hit that thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend if you haven't already. Share it with a friend, an enemy, a family member, a boss, an in-law, an outlaw, whatever it's got to be. All right, everybody, enjoy the football this weekend, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.